Well, as the NBA draft takes place from Brooklyn tonight, it is another former number one overall pick taking over the noise in the Barclays Center. It is none other than Kyrie Irving, who as of right now is still a Brooklyn Net. We will see for how much longer. So for those who don't know, Kyrie Irving is in the last year of about a $35 million deal. He had a player option in which he has to either opt in or opt out by June 29th. That's about a week time from here. Kyrie wants a long-term extension with the Nets. It looks like Brooklyn is, for justifiably so, hesitant to give Kyrie the amount of years that he would desire in a long-term deal, just because he only plays about a third of the games that he's been offered or had at his disposal over the last few years. So the Nets are like, we can give you a couple years, but not a long-term deal. And that's where things are getting spicy. So Kyrie has let it be known to Brooklyn and NBA sources, including Woj, that if you guys don't give me a long-term deal, I would like to be moved to these teams that I'm about to name to you guys, and it's up to you guys to trade me to them. I'll opt in the last year of my deal and just sit out. Y'all know I'll do it. I sat out over the vaccine. You know I'll sit out if I'm unhappy. Right now, Woj is reporting that the teams that Kyrie would like to be signed and trade to include the Los Angeles Lakers, the Los Angeles Clippers, the Philadelphia 76ers, the Dallas Mavericks, the Miami Heat, and the New York Knicks. Let me just put this in perspective. None of these teams have the cap room to sign Kyrie Irving outright, so it would have to be a sign and trade. As a matter of fact, I'll take it a step further. As of right now, we don't even know if any of these teams are interested in bringing Kyrie Irving in because of his last 2 years. Not about the talent that Kyrie Irving's got. It's about, can you get that talent to the court, which over the last few years has been very difficult, to say the least. Again, Woj with a big bomb, and he's tweeting out all the draft picks. This is an even bigger bomb than that. Came a couple hours before the draft, as he's reporting that Kyrie Irving has given the Brooklyn Nets a list of teams that he would like to be dealt to if the Nets are not offering him a long-term deal. And I want to just say this really quickly. The Brooklyn Nets called Kyrie bluff, and I think they're about to continue to call Kyrie bluff in the future. What if neither of these teams can either A, pull off a Kyrie Irving trade, or B, want to pull off a Kyrie Irving trade? The Dallas Mavericks don't have the cap room. They seem to like what they got there in their nucleus with Luka Doncic and Jalen Brunson, who they're trying to sign this offseason. The Miami Heat, maybe, just maybe, but they just signed Kyle Lowry last offseason. Do you really want to put Kyrie Irving next to Jimmy Butler? Seems like it could be very problematic as a Heat fan out there if you are one. The Los Angeles Lakers, they still got Russell Westbrook. They got to deal with that. I'm not so sure Kevin Durant would want to play with Russell Westbrook again. Only time will tell. We'll talk about KD in another video. The Clippers, does Steve Ballmer really want to spend the money to go deep into the luxury tax and bring in a Kyrie Irving? That would be something of the ages if Kyrie, Kawhi, and PG are the top three in LAC. You look around at the New York Knicks. They have talent. They don't have the cap room. And does it really make sense for the New York Knicks to bring in Kyrie Irving right now? They're clearly at least a couple of players away from making a serious run in the Eastern Conference. A couple of those players will likely have to get dealt in any Kyrie Irving trade. So, to me, where we land, the Philadelphia 76ers, they're not going to get Kyrie Irving. They already got Tyrese Maxey, who's, to me, a better fit with Joel Embiid right now. You went and got James Harden. It doesn't make sense to go put Kyrie next to James Harden when James wanted to get away from Kyrie in Brooklyn. This is going to be interesting, y'all. And I do believe Kyrie Irving will end up getting traded. I think. I don't believe he'll play basketball in Brooklyn next year. That's what I think. Whether that means he sits out, whatever. I don't believe he plays another dribble as a Brooklyn Net. That's what I believe. I don't know where it's going to be at. If he plays basketball at all, I don't believe it will be in Brooklyn. I don't. I think this thing has reached its peak, and what Kyrie is learning is you get to treat people however which way you want to. You're a millionaire. You're successful. You're incredible at what you do. But people have the right to respond, meaning the Brooklyn Nets responded by not wanting to give you a long-term deal, meaning the other teams that you're interested in going to, they don't want you. As talented as you are, as great as you are at basketball, these teams ain't jumping at the opportunity to sign you. Ironically, they're actually waiting on to see if Kevin Durant becomes available because of what you're doing. You can do whatever you want, but people have the right to respond and react to how you treat people. I think it's one thing for Kyrie Irving to sit out this year because of the vaccine mandate. That's one thing. I'm not even faulting him that much for that, but it comes after Kyrie Irving, just a season ago, randomly sat out for the Brooklyn Nets because of the Capitol riot on January 6th. I don't believe the Brooklyn Nets ever forgot about that one. I don't think they forgot about that one. The fact that year one, when Kevin Durant was down, Kyrie Irving apparently took a couple games more to sit out. Remember when he threw some of his Nets teammates under the bus, saying a lot of these guys won't be around when we get Kevin Durant back the following year? I think those things have rubbed that Brooklyn Nets organization the wrong way after the season, as the Nets got bounced in 4 games to the Boston Celtics this past year. You got Kyrie Irving saying me and KD and Joe and others are going to run this franchise. What are you talking about? You don't play enough to get that type of control. Again, how you treat people, you can do whatever you want, but people have the right to respond, and that's what Brooklyn and the rest of the NBA is doing to Irving right now.